Throughout my 4 or 5 years of entrepreneurship now, there's been one thing I've noticed about every other successful person that I've met. One thing that allows them to get into the position where they don't live a life like the 99% of other people. It's something I have, it's something every single one of my friends has, it's something that literally every single successful person I've ever met has. And it's not something overly complicated. It's not something that not everyone knows how to do. It's something that's actually pretty damn simple. And that thing is the ability to work when they don't want to do the things that they don't want to, and to be able to actually put their focus into achieving their goals. Now, it's definitely not common for every single person out there to have these traits, but it becomes very common as soon as you start surrounding yourself with people who are in a position where you want to be. Living out in Miami at 21 years old now, I'm oftentimes surrounded by people who have the same goals and the same ambitions as myself. And the one thing I've noticed about every single one of these people is that they're ambitious enough to get to where they've gotten today. They were willing to do the things that they needed to do in order to get to where they are. They were willing to work when they didn't want to. They were willing to sacrifice things other people aren't willing to sacrifice. And they were willing to simply make a decision to make a change in their life. Now, another thing I've noticed in every single one of these people who is hyper successful is that they've never told themselves that they're not capable of doing something they dream of doing. They have zero limiting beliefs. If they want something, they're gonna go get it, and they know they're more than capable of doing so. There's no thoughts in the back of their head like, what if this doesn't work out? How am I gonna do this? They know simply if there's a will, there's a way. And they'll do whatever it takes to get to where they want to go and to crush whatever goals it is they have set for themselves. I mean, for example, why do you think I'm sitting outside of my house filming a YouTube video at 11:20 at night when majority of other people are inside sleeping or watching a movie or scrolling on TikTok? I have a goal of putting this mindset into thousands of other people who watch this video, and I'm going to do what's necessary in order to achieve that goal. Why? Because it makes me feel better about myself and it brings me genuine fulfillment. And that's what separates the people who are hyper successful from the other 99% of people in this world, is they find fulfillment within things that make them a better person. Not fulfillment in short-term happiness and dopamine rushes. They chase becoming a better person, whether that's financially, physically, spiritually, or regardless of what it is. They do things that overall improve their quality of life and improve themselves and who they are as a person. Looking back at 4 or 5 years ago when I started doing all of this online business stuff and went through countless of business models, failure after failure after failure, I still did not give up. Would I be here today sitting in front of these cars if I had given up after I failed drop shipping, after I failed trying to trade crypto, after I failed every single business model you could ever think of? What I did was I kept chasing the workload, kept chasing the fulfillment that doing these things and this failure brought me, because I knew the grass was going to be greener on the other side. Even after countless amounts of failure and failure and failure, deep down, something about failing was bringing me the fulfillment that I was looking for. I don't know if it was simply just that I was fucking crazy, or if I knew that every single failure I was running into was just bringing me closer to the success that I was chasing. But something about failing over and over and over again just made me hungrier, which allowed me to learn the things that I didn't know to allow me to get to a position like this today. And I think that's what makes hyper successful people hyper successful, is that they're just literally fucking delusional. They do not care about other people's opinions. They do not care about any blocks in the road. They do not care how hard it's gonna be to get to where they want to go. They're gonna do it regardless. Because not only does the result bring them fulfillment, but the journey along the road brings them fulfillment. Like, if you genuinely want to achieve your dream life, do you think that it's gonna be easy? Not one of you answered that question yes. So if you can find a way to adapt your mindset to fall in love with the process of achieving your goals, the journey of getting there is going to become fun. And that's what separates these people from the other 99% of people. Even though the journey isn't easy, they find a way to make it become fun. They fall in love with the chase of success, with the chase of failure. And it truly is what allows them to get to where they want to go. And again, if it weren't for my younger self who was delusional enough to fall in love with the process and fall in love with the failure, I wouldn't be where I am today. I would be in my junior year of college, getting ready to soon graduate, go down the corporate road and chase my way up the ladder of the 9-to-5 system. But instead, I simply made a decision that I was actually going to do what it takes to change my life. And as soon as I made that decision and promised myself I was going to make it happen, the journey became fun. Now, granted, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There's going to be shit that makes you literally want to rip your hair out, or if you're like me, it naturally starts falling out. But for the most part, it's pretty damn cool and it's pretty damn fun. And once you get to where you can almost say you made it, you start to look back at some of that time when you were starting out, and literally, as like corny as it is to say, look at those days as the good old days. Believe it or not, there's days where I miss sitting at my desk in high school, staying up until 2 a.m., having to go to school the next day at 7 a.m., sitting in my parents' basement, just like slaving away, stressing about how I was gonna have to go to college in the next couple months if I didn't figure this online shit out. Or even when I was in college, going from school back to my college dorm, grinding my ass off. Again, as corny as it is, like I look back at those times and I'm like, damn, shit was like really simple then. And like the process was just so cool to all see come together. So I haven't nearly made it to where I want to be in life. I still have a lot of goals to achieve and a lot of things to accomplish. And I'm sure one day I'll look back at this and be like, damn, that was the good old days. But regardless, be willing to do the things other people aren't. Be willing to enjoy the journey. Be willing to enjoy failure. And be willing to fucking learn. That, my friend, is how you'll get to where you want to go. Make sure to like, subscribe, check out my other videos to learn more about freelance brand scaling, as well as my free training link in the description. Road to 100K. I love y'all boys. Peace.